All right, so what's going on, everyone? Thanks for coming to another video. This one's going to be more on uh, regular maintenance stuff, I guess is the best way to put it. So, make a long story short, I was meeting my brother on Sunday, now yesterday, and trying to pull it back into a parking spot. I didn't have reverse, so tried to go all the way on the shifter, all the way over and then up to get into reverse. Couldn't. Um, so had to get pushed into a parking spot, set the brake. Was able to drive home forward, no problem. Um, so after some Googling and some looking around, it seems like my reverse lockout solenoid has gone bad. So we'll go ahead and get that replaced. All right, so car not going into reverse. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That comes on, shows I'm now able to get into reverse. So that basically just tells me, like, again, letting the car sit overnight, but that's telling me that that solenoid has either got a bad ground, the solenoid itself is starting to go bad, or any of these other items. So we're going to get the car up in the air, and we're just going to replace the solenoid as cheap insurance. The car is a 2007 uh, with 63,000 miles on it. So not unheard of for a sensor to go bad or a solenoid to go bad. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get to it. Yeah, there we go. So this part of the solenoid gets actuated when I shouldn't be able to go into reverse. So on this car, anything over 3 mile an hour in forward gears, I should not be able to get into reverse. So this is going to come down. If I'm under, that's going to come up, and it's going to allow the transmission to get past this gate. So when you're forcing it, you're effectively just kind of muscling it out of the way. Obviously, not ideal to do that. All right, so now we know what the solenoid looks like. Where is it on the car? How do you get to it? And what do you have to do to take it off? So it is going to be on the passenger side of the transmission, up near the top, which is where the reverse pattern actually is in the car. All right, so I was definitely wrong as far as where the actual reverse lockout solenoid is. It's actually on top of the transmission, just as I thought it was originally, but just didn't feel it up there. So, yeah, it makes a lot more sense what happens with this whole plunger. So this plunger is going to effectively remove the spring tension, which prevents you from accidentally getting into reverse. So that spring tension is actually 45 pounds. So it makes sense why you can manually push it all the way through, but I couldn't get into reverse that day. So I'm gonna go back under the car, and we're going to find the actual location and take out the whole assembly, just because I don't think I'll be able to get tools up to it. So let's go underneath the car. I've got ratchet, and I've got a short and deep well 13 millimeter with an extension. So we'll see which one it is. Let's go ahead and get under the car and try to find it. All right, so we're back underneath the car. As I said in that other video, that's definitely not the sensor or the solenoid. That is our backup lamp detector indicator sensor thing. So what we're actually looking for is somewhere up there. I'm not really sure where it is or how to get to it, but let's see. Ah, there it is. So that makes a lot more sense. So that makes a lot more sense on what I was reading, being it's a 34 millimeter socket. Well, the old's a 34 millimeter socket. The new is 27. And as I was mentioning earlier, I don't have a 27 millimeter socket that's deep enough. So instead,
There should be a 13mm bolt up here somewhere. Not sure where. Okay. All right, so that's what looks like to be my 13mm bolt. That's going to allow me to remove this whole assembly out towards the camera and then down. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And apologies for the different orientation of the video, but that's what we're gonna have to do. Sweet. All right, so this is the attachment method that I'm using. It's a 13mm short socket, a 1-inch, or the shortest wobble extension I have, and then like a 3-inch wobble extension. So that allows me to get ratchet on here nice and easy, and we'll go ahead and spin it off. I do need 2 hands, so I'm not gonna be able to show the video of that. All right, so this might make it a little bit easier to see and visualize what you're doing now. So this upper bolt, it's 13mm, and let me show you. So this is the configuration that I had that worked best for me. So it was a 13mm short well socket, a wobble extension, and then like a 3-inch wobble extension. So that allowed me to get on the bolt and pivot downward, giving me enough space to actually get a ratchet on there to undo this. Anyways, once that's out, go ahead and disconnect your connector. I found it was actually easiest for me to basically lay on my back and put both arms around the side of the transmission, and that allowed me to easily get to the connector, holding this in place and then just sliding the clip off. Now all we got to do is take this sensor off and put this sensor on. This is gonna be a 34mm deep well, and that's gonna be your 27mm, which now I can actually use my 27mm and get rid of this guy. That one's not needed. Holy Christ. All right, so I'm not sure if my body was blocking that or not, but this is properly tight. But cool. Here's our old one. Plunger seems to work perfectly fine. Oh well. And the new one, I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of oil on here before I put the install in. Yeah, and then it's just going to oh, that's how this works. Okay, so how I had said that there's some spring tension. Got it. So you can see that little step there, which that's what's going to be blocking this. Nifty. Some smart people out there came up with this. Now that I'm holding this firm, all right, everything's off, ready to go, and that cannot work until this is energized, allowing me to go into reverse. I'm just gonna go ahead and go back onto the car and reverse these steps, and then it's time to test. All right, so We are now done with the reverse lockout solenoid. So putting it back in, I found that it was easiest to go ahead and get the housing fully seated and then go ahead and tighten up the actual solenoid. So if you don't do it that way, the solenoid needs to be actuated to be able to allow reverse to happen. So that plunger, as you saw when I had it off the car, it would prevent that plunger from going forward. So that also prevents it from going all the way in. So one way you could do that is just go ahead and leave the car in reverse before you do this, if you're able to get the car in reverse. And that will allow you to go ahead and do it. I didn't do it that way. I just tightened it up once I had the housing back on the car. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this this old solenoid just because it kind of works. In case something goes wrong, I don't want to be left stranded, you know? So anyways, that's all I had today. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.